Hello, everyone, and welcome in to another episode of the Fastball Sports Network WWE podcast. I am Frank. That is Mark. Mark, how are we doing today?
Doing well.
Are you excited for today's show?
I'm excited to hear what you have to say on today's show.
So, for those of you that don't know, we weren't watching last week. We fantasy booked Wrestlemania, and it's safe to say that I got a little bit ridiculous when I was doing mine. But it's fantasy booking; it's not real. I don't think any of it's going to happen, and I hope I'm wrong. But,
I think I definitely tried to be a little bit. It was what I want to happen, also what I believe could happen.
I don't think anything I said is that unrealistic, but some of it is never going to happen, and I understand that. But we'll get to it when we get there. But first, we got to talk about John Huber, the wrestler known as Luke Harper in the WWE and Brody Lee in AEW. He passed away tragically, so just a quick, rest in peace. Very sad. Seemed like he was extremely well liked, and anytime someone dies, before it's their time, it's always very upsetting to see. But just thoughts and prayers to his family and all that. Just
you could see the impact that he had on so many people. They were all tweeting and Instagramming, like everyone that's on social media was saying the impact that he had on their lives, either in the ring or outside the ring, and it's really sad.
Yeah, it's very sad, and just to see the pictures, because in both those characters he was this serious man, and in WWE he played like almost like deranged like sidekick of Bray Wyatt. But to see the pictures of you forget that these are real people sometimes, so that was really nice to see. And again, thoughts and prayers with his family. But we will move on from that, and before we jump into our Mania cards, we have to start out with our Royal Rumble predictions. Let's start with the women. I know nothing has changed on my front. I'm still picking Bianca Belair. I'm pretty sure nothing has changed on your front.
Yep, taking Bianca.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that. And then for the men, you changing anything up?
I'm still taking Daniel Bryan.
Still taking Daniel Bryan. I have no clue at this point. I don't know who to pick, and I am going to stick with Edge for now. But I expect it to change, but I'm sticking with it for now. I'm not giving an explanation. I'm just staying there.
Okay.
We don't have to speak too long on this. Let's get into the main event. So we are fantasy booking WrestleMania, okay? So obviously a little difference in philosophy. Mark tried to keep it real, but like what he wanted to happen. I was not afraid to go overboard if I felt the need, but I think some of my stuff is not that ridiculous, okay? We'll see when I say it. But I guess let's just hop right into it.
All right, you want to go? Go first, and we'll alternate.
So we're gonna pick a match, right? Because we both have certain title matches. We've put certain non-title matches, and then we have the two battle royals. So we'll just say the match, and then we'll say how we booked it, because we both basically have the same card in terms of the amount of matches. We just don't know what each other booked. So we will start. I'll let you start. We're going to go with the women's battle royal. And for this one, I just want a winner. I don't need any build or anything like that. Just give me a winner.
Lana.
Wow. This is your fantasy booking. This is what you want to happen.
No, I said it's a combination of the two. It's like what I think is going to happen and what I want to happen.
Okay. So for this one, my winner, I put Raquel Gonzalez, the NXT prospect. I think this would be a really good place to showcase her. She's definitely an athlete. She's larger than the rest of the women. I think this would be a really good spot for her.
Okay. Lana needs her big win and like eventual ending to this storyline that comes at WrestleMania.
All right. The men's battle royal.
Give me. I actually didn't pick this one. Let me think.
I'll go what you think.
You go.
So I picked Mustafa Ali, and I thought that, Retribution could kind of help him throw a bunch of people over. And then at the end, when it's time, Retribution just goes over and they give the win to their leader and they all celebrate. And there's your win for Retribution.
That's fine. I'll take Chad Gable. Why not?
Okay. I like that.
Sure.
I don't hate that. All right. So the first championship match we will have on our cards is the Women's Tag Team Championship. So you're up. How do you have this booked? I'm like shuddering to think about how you have this booked.
All right, so I have the champions being Mandy and Dana versus Lacey and Peyton, also versus the Riot Squad, also versus Billy Kay and Natalia in some 8-team nonsensical chaos match. I mean, Billy Kay and Natalia tag team. I can just see them throwing them together at some point. Like, sure.
I think they have teased that actually on SmackDown.
Sure. And then like Peyton and Lacey, they have nothing. They don't know how to book either of them, so they'll probably just stay in their weird tag team and like we'll get some Peyton and Billy Kay fun during the match, like on opposing teams. Like, and I'll have Mandy and Dana retain. Why not?
Okay. All right. So for me, this one's a little wacky, but stick with me here.
Sure.
So Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are the champions once again. Okay. They face the team of Dana Brooke and Lacey Evans and Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Now, you're probably wondering how this happens. Well, after the Royal Rumble, Dana Brooke and Lacey Evans are so angry that they lost another match. Okay. They start beating up their partners. Now, Dana looks over and she's like, oh, she's beating up her partner too. So she goes and helps. They put Peyton Royce on the shelf. Okay. The next night on Raw, Mandy's in singles competition. They go to attack her. Out comes Sonya. We got a triple threat match. Oh, and at Royal Rumble, Shayna and Nia win the championships back. Okay. And that's how we get our triple threat match. And I have my winners being the reunited friendship of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. I think it would be a nice story. And I like both of them. So I think this would be a good way to use them.
Okay.
All right. Next, we have the Raw Tag Team Championships. I will let you go. Mine for this one is ridiculous too.
Okay. I have a 3-team 6-man ladder match between the Hurt Business.
I love that.
The Hurt Business, the New Day, and the Undisputed Era. And I have the Undisputed Era.
Okay.
Isn't that ridiculous?
That's really fun. No. It's really funny because I too have the Undisputed Era, but I don't have them for the Raw Tag Team. You'll see.
Whether it's Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, or they have Fish in there. 2 of the 3, I think, win the tag titles in the ladder match.
Okay. So for the Raw Tag Team Championships, I had the most problem with this, and I tried to keep a congruent story throughout my whole WrestleMania. So you'll see why I didn't put the Undisputed Era in this match. But for mine, I have the Hurt Business, who are the champions, versus The Miz and John Morrison. Now, at WrestleMania, the Hurt Business aren't actually scheduled for a match. They start cutting a promo, but Bobby's in the back preparing for his match. So it's just MVP and the tag team champions, Cedric and MVP. So as they're cutting their promo, talking about how they're the greatest faction in the history of the WWE, you know WWE loves their nostalgia. So the NWO just comes out, and they just beat them up. Finishers. Oh, and they're also with not just Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hulk Hogan, but also every member that's ever been important NWO member. So Shawn Michaels and Big Show are out there. So now it's a 5-on-3 with these 5 Hall of Famers. They just start beating them up. Out comes the Miz and Morrison with Miz's briefcase in hand. Miz cashes in. The crowd gets all excited, and Miz and Morrison become the new tag team champions. I just needed something to make this exciting but quick. I was like, the best way.
I mean, like, that would be like a silly WrestleMania moment that could definitely
right,
happen.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, this is something I don't know if they would book it like this, but like, you know, that those factions always come out and like have their WrestleMania moment. Like, so I figured this would be a good way to do it. Like, the Miz would scurry out with Morrison, like they'd make it really funny, and then they'd be tag team champs again.
It's always like a fun like comedy relief segment that they have. It goes back to like when Otis won. I don't want them cashing in on the tag team titles.
No, I don't either. But at this point, they've made a mockery of the briefcase altogether with Miz getting it back. So you know what? I'm gonna make them. If they don't care, I don't care. That's how I feel.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to the SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
I took Street Profits versus Rey Mysterio and Dom and Rey win.
Okay. I have the Usos versus Street Profits versus Fish and O'Reilly.
Huh.
So basically what happens is
you have paragraphs.
The Usos take. Yeah, I have the bill. I have the whole bill. So the Usos take the belt from the Profits at the Royal Rumble, not clean though. So they get a rematch at Elimination Chamber. They do it again, but again not clean. But also at Elimination Chamber, Fish and O'Reilly earn the right to face at WrestleMania. So it turned into a triple threat match in which I have Fish and O'Reilly winning the belts at WrestleMania. So next we will move on to the U.S. title.
U.S. title, I have Lashley versus Keith Lee versus AJ versus Matt Riddle in a fatal 4-way.
Okay.
And I have Matt Riddle winning.
That's a lot of fun because I have U.S. title. I have Riddle versus Ricochet versus MVP versus Sheamus. And I have Riddle going in as champion. Now, Riddle wins the championship from Bobby Lashley, okay?
At the Rumble.
At the Royal Rumble. With a little help from a fellow Hardy bro, Jeff Hardy. And then similar fashion at Elimination Chamber. So then Bobby focuses attention on the WWE Championship, but MVP is pissed that United States Championship isn't in the Hurt Business. So he decides, like, I'm going to win it. I'm going to win it for the Hurt Business. Bobby, take care of the WWE Championship, and we're going to have all the titles on Raw after WrestleMania. So, but then Ricochet is like, it's not fair that you guys get chance after chance, and Sheamus comes out and agrees with him, fella. And so Riddle comes out, and since he's a bro, he's just like, yeah, all three of you can have a shot at my championship. I don't care. And he does it, and he goes in and he wins.
Sheamus can't do anything that's not obsessing over Keith Lee and Drew.
I wrote in a really funny segment about Sheamus when I got to my WWE Championship build. It was really funny.
All right.
But yeah, I have Riddle winning, so that's funny. We both have the same United States champion at the end of the night.
Riddle's awesome.
IC championship. Go ahead.
I have another fatal 4-way. It's a little maybe lazy booking. I'm not sure. But I got Big E, Seth, Kevin Owens, and Sammy.
Oh, I completely forgot about Seth Rollins when I was doing. I did not put Seth Rollins in a single match. That's terrible on me.
That needs to be on the card, whether it's in a non-title match, whether it's with Roman, whether it's something. And I have Seth winning the Intercontinental Championship tonight.
All right, so I'm gonna make an executive decision and throw Seth Rollins also into my IC Championship match because I forgot him. But you'll see why it's both ridiculous and not ridiculous at all. So SmackDown comes around, and Shane O'Mac comes on, and he's like, "All right, like Big E, you're doing a good job with the Intercontinental Championship. Like you're making it prestigious." He's like, "But I want to make it really prestigious. I want to make it a title that everybody wants." So he's like, "I'm going to do something big for it at WrestleMania." So all of a sudden, Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Otis, King Corbin, Dom Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, Gable, Samoa Joe, and Roderick Strong all come out. They say they want this match, okay? And now Seth Rollins too. So Shane's like, fine, you all got it at WrestleMania. We're going to do the largest ladder match in the history of the WWE. Then R-Truth comes out and says he wants a piece of the United States Championship too. Shane tells him, you know what? You got your IC title match. You're in the match too, even though you're so confused. This isn't Raw. This is SmackDown. It's just a funny R-Truth bit, but I felt I'd throw it in there, you know? And so it's an 11-man Intercontinental Championship ladder match. Could be a mess. Could be the greatest match of all time. Roddy Strong, I got him winning the Intercontinental Championship.
Okay.
What do you think?
There's a lot of moving parts there for sure.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of men sitting down in the corner, like waiting for their spot moments. Yeah. Like a lot.
Yeah. We're trying to showcase everybody on the main show, okay? Not just the Battle Royal, all right? We want everybody.
Pre-show match.
What'd you say?
If that's a pre-show match, you're
no shot. No shot.
Plus
their ladder the largest ladder match in the history of WWE.
Yeah, that could be a pre-show match. With Roderick Strong winning, like someone most people don't even know. Like, yeah, let's put on the pre-show.
Disrespectful to Roderick Strong and the other 10 men competing in the largest
Intercontinental. I didn't hear any big names besides your executive name set that you forgot about.
Well, I put Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan in this match.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I just heard Ray
and Sami Zayn
and
Otis and King Corbin and Dom Mysterio and Rey Mysterio, but that's okay. They're not important.
I heard a lot of jobbers.
All right, first match, not title. We have 2 non-title matches, so 2 just blown out feud matches.
Okay, I have a triple threat match between Edge, Randy, and The Fiend. I think it can really lead into some things. Like The Fiend can bring up the past of both of these men in different cryptic, weird ways. We can lean into a lot of the shady stuff they've both done throughout their careers that I think have gotten a lot of like attention outside of the ring. I think that can be really interesting. I think Edge needs his revenge with Randy. The Fiend is intertwined with Randy right now. I think it could work really well.
Okay, I like that a lot. That's interesting. And it adds a new dynamic to Randy's story with both of those guys too, so that would be really cool.
I don't think we need Randy Edge for the third time. I don't think we need.
No, I agree with you. My first one is Charlotte Flair versus Naomi. Now I have Charlotte being eliminated from the Royal Rumble by Naomi.
Okay.
And then the next night on Raw, Charlotte coming and attacking Naomi, putting her out for like a month and a half.
Again?
Right before, what'd you say? Yeah.
Yeah, we just got back.
Yeah, it's fine. So so then Charlotte, having not won the Rumble and not getting an opportunity to face Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship, is complaining about how she doesn't have anything to do at WrestleMania anymore. So then out comes Naomi. She's like, all right, you want something to do at WrestleMania? You got it. And also the week after Charlotte attacked Naomi, she came out cutting a promo about how Naomi is like a wannabe Charlotte Flair. She's not as athletic. She's not as good. She's not as everything that Charlotte is. She's just the B version of it. And so that spurs Naomi to come back, makes the match for WrestleMania, and I got Naomi winning that match.
You know,
fun little match.
You do know that Charlotte would never have a non-title match at WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, no, I know. I fully intend on her being involved in the Raw Women's Championship. But this is fun.
It's a fun idea. As long as you understand this could never happen, that's fine. There's a
lot of stuff that would never happen, like an 11-man Intercontinental Championship ladder match.
Yeah, but like Charlotte's going to be wrestling for like the next decade, and she will never have a non-title match at WrestleMania.
What do you think is more likely of my two scenarios? You think it's Charlotte in the non-title match or the 11-man Intercontinental?
The ladder match, like not even close. Like I don't think Charlotte
is more likely.
Yeah, like not even close. Charlotte would never wrestle for a non-title ever at WrestleMania.
Okay. All right. I'll hear what you have to say. I'll agree with you fine. But I was just saying, like, this is how I would book it, you know?
Okay.
All right. Now we have one more non-title match, and then we'll get into the 4 main titles.
I took Goldberg versus Braun Strowman, a WrestleMania rematch, where Goldberg comes looking for Roman. Roman has no interest in him. Braun shows up, is like, you got me. I don't know if they're on the same show. Probably not. We can make that work. It's Goldberg. So then they'll have a little match where I'm sure Goldberg will probably win, unfortunately, but it'll be like interesting. It was okay at Mania.
Okay, my next one. This is kind of wacky too, but I did have a returning CM Punk on this WrestleMania card.
Okay.
All right. So when he got on the Renee Young podcast, and he talked about why he would come back. He said he would need a good storyline. I didn't do that for him. This is not a different storyline, but I just thought he's planting the seeds for some type of return if he wants to do it, if the cards are right. So why not throw him in here? It'll be fun. So I have Triple H versus CM Punk. Now you're probably asking, how did we get here? And I will say easily. So CM Punk returns at the Royal Rumble. Everyone's going nuts. CM Punk is looking great. And then all of a sudden, Triple H, full suit, not actually in the Rumble, comes in, knocks him out. Punk the next night on Raw goes, cuts his promo, saying how nothing's changed. This is why he left in the first place, and this is why he's leaving now. Adam Pearce says, wait a minute, I have an opportunity for you to get into the championship picture again. We are doing a double elimination chamber. So that's a men's elimination chamber at Elimination Chamber and an elimination chamber for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. So just a sneak preview to what I got for the WWE Championship. The Elimination Chamber at Elimination Chamber is a last chance elimination chamber. So 5 members have already qualified for the Mania Chamber, and this is for the last spot in the Mania Elimination Chamber. So Punk agrees. Punk, again, rolling in the Elimination Chamber, doing a great job, right? Who comes there? Gives him the pedigree. Triple H pedigrees him. Miz is there, scurries over, pins him. 1, 2, 3. CM Punk's eliminated from the Elimination Chamber. Punk shows up to NXT the night after, realizes that only Triple H only wants him gone. And if he leaves, Triple H gets what he wants. So he's going to stay here and he's going to come to NXT and he's going to beat up all of Triple H's projects until he gets his match at WrestleMania. So he does this for 3 or 4 weeks until the last week before Mania. Triple H finally comes out. He's like, hey, man, you know, you want this match? You got it. I'm sick and tired of you showing your face around here. CM Punk goes, you know what? Never mind. I'm having too much fun. You're going to have to put more on the line if you want that. So the match stipulations. If CM Punk wins, he gets his own personal Money in the Bank briefcase that he can cash in at any time. Because that's what he wanted from all of this in the first place. He wanted a championship match. If Triple H wins, CM Punk is erased from the WWE completely. Okay, he's taken off the network. He's taken off of the website, similar to what happened the first time he left, but permanent this time. His name is not allowed to be mentioned on the broadcast. He is deleted from history. Okay? And then I have Punk winning and getting his Money in the Bank briefcase.
I don't hate that. That's
I think it's like a fun build. It plays on why he left in the first place.
You made it interesting because it was just like 1v1, like for Triple H's career, I wouldn't care. But you made it interesting.
Yeah, well, we're trying to, you know, and then obviously, like, you can't keep Punk away from the title for too long, but we were able to do it now and give him a reason to go right after it, right, you know, immediately too, which was important for me. All right, now we have the Raw Women's Championship match, and this one I would be the most excited for if it actually happened, but I don't think it's going to happen the way it's going right now. But you can go first.
Okay, this is like the only one I actually put some thought into, like you like having a whole backstory for all of them. So I didn't want to reveal at the beginning of the show. I have a different winner for the Women's Royal Rumble, and that is Ronda Rousey.
Okay.
I think Ronda comes back at 30. She actually wins this one and points at it, not just like points at it after the fact. So I think she comes out at 30. She wins the Rumble. And then Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania would be Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and Ronda Rousey. I think Ronda would retain to have Becky come out the next night and challenge her to a match.
Okay. I like that a lot. That's a lot of fun. I have Asuka versus Alexa Bliss, and I have Alexa Bliss winning the Royal Rumble with the assist of the Fiend. I don't know how, but it happens. He helps her somehow using his magical Fiend powers. So for the next 2 months, Alexa's just tormenting Asuka with her fiendish powers. And then finally at WrestleMania, she gets the job done, and Alexa Bliss walks out as the Raw Women's Championship. So yeah.
That'd be cool.
SmackDown Women's Championship.
Triple threat match between Sasha, Bianca, and Bayley. I will give Bianca the belt.
Okay. I have Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair as well. And I have Belair earning the opportunity at Elimination Chamber. So the Elimination Chamber is for the right to face Bayley at WrestleMania. And she starts the match, so she's one of the first people in. And Bayley is the last person out of the pod, and she winds up beating her last as to earn the spot to face Sasha, and then Bayley involved in this build. You had her actually in the match, and I had her as like a key for Bianca to like have to beat to get to Banks. So
you're just throwing Bayley in the nonsensical battle royal.
No. I had it written down.
No, I'm saying you're throwing Bayley in the battle royal.
Yeah, she got put in the battle royal. My battle royal is no joke. Okay.
Mine's a joke because the match is a joke. Bayley should not be in that.
I don't know. I don't have anything for her this year.
Oof.
She's not Charlotte.
You have all these backstories. You forgot about Seth. You forgot about Bayley. Oof.
I also forgot about Braun Strowman too. He's in the battle royal too.
Oof.
And Do
you have the Fiend in the title match?
No, he's in the battle royal too.
Oh the Fiend.
Yeah.
Oof.
I didn't put Edge. I didn't put Edge in anything either. So I guess he's in the battle royal too.
Oh gosh. Oof.
Yeah, like these are guys I just on my Fantasy Mania card, they just couldn't find a way in.
They'll all have weird single matches with each other with no build. That'll be tough.
Well, that's what I'm saying. My card's gonna be a lot better than whatever they do with them.
Oh man.
All right. WWE Championship. What do you got?
I have that as the main event. So you want to just jump
Okay.
in, go. You talking about Roman?
I
Right?
have the Universal Championship as the main event, but it doesn't
Oh
matter.
wait, no, I mixed it up. Roman's Universal, right?
Yeah.
All right, no. So I have Drew versus Adam Cole. Adam Cole winning the Rumble.
Okay. And then who wins the belt?
Actually, I lied. Adam Cole does not win the Rumble. I don't know why I said that. Adam Cole is going to beat Drew, but he's not going to win the Rumble to get there.
Okay. How does he get there?
He'll show up. That was Drew's first. It was Cole's first feud on NXT. He came out when Drew was the champion and beat him up with the Undisputed Era. So they have history there. I think you just come out after maybe the night after Elimination Chamber or night after the Rumble and be like, "Hey, listen, I want your belt. Start the feud. It works. I'm in."
All right. I like that. I'm all in for any Adam Cole things.
They're all coming up, all 4 of them.
All right. So for me, I have the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber. I mentioned this before. So this is the old double elimination chamber. So get a build of this. So Drew McIntyre's had these stories with everyone, and nobody seems to be going away. So I was like, all right, you know what? F it. Let's give everybody the match. All right. But there's going to be elimination chamber. So that first elimination chamber at the pay-per-view elimination chamber is to earn the last spot. AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Keith Lee, and who else did I put? Oh boy. Oh no. Oh, and Bobby Lashley. Excuse me. I could not find the last person. So they all win their qualifying matches, right? So that's 4 people. All right.
Okay.
Win their qualifying matches. Move on. The losers go into the second chance elimination chamber at elimination chamber, right? But there's 2 extra spots. One was given to the revenge-seeking CM Punk, who we saw earlier. The other one was given to Jeff Hardy by Riddle actually going to Adam Pearce and saying it's unfair that all of these legends or all of these prominent WWE guys get to go and fight in this chamber, but Jeff Hardy's just being left out. You know, he's got more history than AJ Styles and Bobby Lashley, and he makes the case, and Pearce listens, and he says, you know what, give Jeff a chance. So after CM Punk gets eliminated from that elimination chamber, it's down to the Miz and Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy winds up pulling it out. Jeff Hardy goes to the elimination chamber, and Jeff Hardy wins the WrestleMania elimination chamber, and Jeff Hardy leaves in his possible last run in the WWE WrestleMania as WWE champion, gets his WrestleMania moment, becomes the first superstar in the history of the WWE to win 2 elimination chambers in the same year.
So what's the actual match?
So the actual match is a elimination chamber between at WrestleMania between Drew McIntyre, Keith Lee, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Bobby Lashley, and Jeff Hardy.
And Jeff wins that match.
And Jeff wins that match with that star power.
Oof.
It's nostalgia. It's like everything you want. The confetti's not dropping because it's not the main event, but he puts out a hard-fought battle, and he wins, and the crowd can't help but respect a legend. Maybe the last time we're seeing him hold the belt. So,
okay,
all right.
Yep.
I got a little funky, you know. I did a double elimination.
Got a little crazy there.
Did I pull off the double elimination chamber? I think I did, but you know.
Okay.
We're fantasy booking WrestleMania. You got to get a little fun. You got to get a little.
Yeah, no, for sure.
All right, just go to your Universal Championship match. We'll watch Mark's card with all these boring singles matches.
I have 2 singles matches.
Yeah.
2 are good. 7 are bad. I have Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan in a last man standing match to really emphasize the whole you think you're better than me and everything. You have to whoever stays down for a 10 count, that can be really good storytelling. They're both really, really good storytellers, and that can be done really well. And I'd be really interested to watch that match. I think the stipulation would be that both Usos are banned from ringside. If they show up, they're fired from WWE forever. I think that could be a really good emphasis to just make it the 2 of them, no shenanigans. You keep Paul there. Paul doesn't get involved, but his facial expressions are really important for the storytelling as well. So yeah, I think the two of them just have like a 45-minute like crazy match, weapons, everything. Like they both get up at 9 multiple times. I think that can be like really amazing. Daniel Bryan walks out champion.
That's a lot of fun. I like that. My Universal Championship match was Roman Reigns versus Adam Cole. Adam Cole, who wins the Rumble. Now, at the Raw after he shows up, at the SmackDown after Royal Rumble, he shows up. He's trying to decide which one, and all of a sudden, Roman, the Usos, and the newest member of Roman's family clan, Samoa Joe, attack Adam Cole. Okay. Samoa Joe also helps the Usos win the tag team championships. Samoa Joe also wins the Intercontinental Championship off of Big E headed into WrestleMania, right? So they have their stable now has all of.
Wait, what happened to your 11-man nonsense match?
Right, he has it going into WrestleMania.
Ah,
yes. Sorry, got a little. I know it's a little confusing with the 11-man. I don't actually think I ever said that. Anyway, so they all have the championships going into WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So then Cole is like talking to the UE. He's like, we can't let this happen. He's like, we're going to win them all. So they win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. They win the Intercontinental Championship. Adam Cole then wins the WWE Universal Championship. At the end of the show, Cole is laying there in the ring after a brutal match with Roman Reigns, and CM Punk's music hits. But as Punk starts running down to the ring, the other 3 members of the UE come out because there's confetti all over the place. He just won the Universal Championship in the main event of WrestleMania. With their belts, they stand in the ring and they hold them up. Punk smirks at Adam Cole. And that's it. The little WrestleMania, the little WWE sign comes up in the corner, and that's the show.
So Punk doesn't do it, but he teases it.
He teases that cash in, yeah. But you got, on one side, you got like, oh, CM Punk, like fan favorite, great. On the other hand, you got, the UE, who's just like, they just got to the top of the mountain in WWE. No, you don't like it?
Oh, that's good. It's good. It works. Is that a good tease though? To have Punk come out and not do it, just like stare at him and smile, like.
Yeah, no, because now it sets up stories for like further on. It's like WrestleMania isn't the end of anything; it's just the start of a new year, for the WWE.
Okay.
So it's a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
and
then
maybe he shows up on Raw the next night and teases on Jeff Hardy, which he's already done. He's already
but Adam Cole takes down Roman Reigns after all this amount of time. That's the focus. That's the emphasis.
Right, and you'll see, and Punk's music will hit, and like I said, the UE will rush the ring, and they'll be like, "Nah, it's not happening today," and then Punk will like back up and smirk, and then the UE's music will hit, and they'll go out. The 4 of them, the last image you'll see is the 4 of them in the ring holding the belts, because that's the important part of WrestleMania. Not just that Cole beat Roman, but that there's a new main faction on SmackDown.
Okay. It's definitely interesting that we both went like heavily with Undisputed there. I went Raw, you went SmackDown. No, I mean, I think we all really hope they get involved with these Mania plans, because they don't have much more to do in NXT. I know like Kyle O'Reilly is like he's in like the Finn stuff now. Like, I don't know why they won't just let them come up. Like, it's never ending. I don't know.
I like all of them too. They all seem like really.
They're all really good, and like Raw for sure is in desperate need of a shot to the arm. It's not lost.
No, I agree. I agree with you that I think like if things are gonna come not to my bizarro fantasy WrestleMania booking world, I would rather them on Raw. But I just saw a faction war between Roman's family and the UE as like a really cool leaping point for what like we could center all of SmackDown's WrestleMania matches for. So
yeah. No, I got you. I just think we're at a point with what more can they do in NXT? I mean, you have Finn down there too. You have like Karrion Kross down there who they want to like push. It's like, just let them go. I don't know if it's like if they're afraid, if they're reluctant, they're waiting for the right moment, but we need them up here. Like, we need help. We
are going to eventually we're going to write down 30 superstars for Raw. 30 superstars for the men and 30 superstars for the women, and try and guess who is going to be in the Royal Rumble and see how many we get for one of our shows. I'm sure that'll be hysterical.
The
and
girls will be a
fun.
lot easier than the guys.
Well, no, it won't though, because like, yes, you're right, because like, but they don't fill the entire, like, there's not 30 women. So
Well,
now
there's like 20 locks, and we have to think about the Hall of Famers they'll bring back.
right, but then like that's like 10 random people where it's just
All
like Trish Stratus could be there. She could be worried about COVID restrictions. You know what I mean? Like she could be like, no, I don't want to do that to my kids right now. Like I can't fly to Tampa. Like that's the wild part of the women's. And you're right, the men, it's like we have more of a basic of the field, but then you have to add in the fact that like we don't know how many returns they're gonna do. Again, especially in a year where there's COVID and stuff like that. So I think that's going to be a wacky. We'll decide when we do that. We'll probably recap again next week, and then probably we'll end up doing that 2 weeks from now, where we just kind of guess everybody that's going to be in. Although maybe we should do it next week before like they get the announcements, or maybe we should use that to help us. I don't know. We'll see how many announcements we get on SmackDown, and then this Friday and Raw on the Monday after. But we do have Bobby Lashley confirmed. We do have Daniel Bryan confirmed, and we have Nia Jax confirmed. So those are 3 of the 60 people that will be in the Royal Rumble. I'm sure it will be very exciting. I'm very excited. I know you're excited.
Yep.
It's the one pay-per-view a year Mark gets excited for.
It's like the only good one every year.
It's like the complete opposite at WrestleMania, where Mark's like, this is supposed to be amazing, but it just sucks every year.
WrestleMania's bad every year. I won't be told otherwise.
It's just long. It's very long. And a lot of the times it's people like I haven't been invested. I think that's the problem with the part-timers. I'm not invested in them at all because like I don't see them on the screen every week. Like
you're not invested in Apollo Crews and all those other guys either. Like you're not, it's only like there's like 4 people that matter and the rest of the show.
No, that's not true. Like I could name you 10 people off the top of my head that I would love to see main event WrestleMania. Just like because of who they are. Like because
main event, that's fine, but like you can't say like certain matches. I don't know.
I don't know, but we will have all of that and much more coming up because it's Rumble season, and that's where we do our finest work, I believe. We don't have any backup to prove that.
Yeah, that's where we do our finest work. Yep.
We've never done a Rumble season before, but I think we got off to a great start today. My WrestleMania was completely wacky. Yours was very tamed and like realistic. You know, we really showed our range as a group today.
Yeah, no, I told you I wanted it to be like partially what I think is possible, partially what I want to happen.
I did not want to be realistic at all.
I know you had like a triple elimination chamber Jeff Hardy victory 12-man ladder match. Like that was
awesome, right?
I went like I think Lana's a lock for that women's battle royal, all jokes aside. Like no matter what happens, I think she's a lock to win the real match.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think a lot of the other stuff could happen. It probably won't. They don't like the multi-man matches, like we've said, but like it's definitely all possible.
Yeah, no, I could see a lot of your matches actually happening. Whereas to mine, I can only see a few of my matches happening. Like I could see Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks happening. I mean, like Alexa Bliss versus Asuka is not the most ridiculous thing in the world. I don't think so, but like it's definitely not. Like if that was a match at WrestleMania, you wouldn't be blown away. I don't know if Adam Cole has a chance to be in that match in the main event at WrestleMania. But yeah, everything else was like a bunch of multi-people matches. And we both have Riddle winning the United States champion, which was funny. Is that it? Is that the only thing we agree on? Oh no, we have Bianca Belair winning the women's championship too.
Yeah, my champions are Cole and Daniel Bryan. You have Cole also, but the other one.
Right.
And who's your other champion? Jeff Hardy. US, I have. Who's my US champion?
Bobby Lashley won.
Riddle and Seth.
Right.
And then Ray and Dominic and Undisputed Era.
Oh, so we both have Undisputed Era winning a tag team champion. Just the opposite. So we both have Adam Cole. I have Roderick Strong getting the other belt too. You have Ray and Dominic for the other one. I have Miz and Morrison for the other tag team championship. I mean, we did have some similarities. Like it wasn't completely different.
I mean, especially with the tag teams, there's only so many options.
Yeah.
Like,
that was the Raw one was impossible to book. I was like, who else is even a tag team on Raw? I was like I was flipping through the roster. I'm like, oh, it's been more. And then I was just gonna do my idea of putting Keith Lee and Matt Riddle together, but I was like, I don't want to waste them on this. Like, I want Riddle to do something else. I want Keith Lee to be involved in the main event. I don't want to waste them on this because who cares about the Hurt Business right now? That was my big issue. So that one to me was like one of the hardest ones. And like I wrote paragraphs for this other stuff. Like literally, this is my eliminate. Like this is you can't see it. I literally have a paragraph written for my WWE Elimination Chamber, double Elimination Chamber scenario. For that one, I'm just like NWO smashes in their faces, Morrison and Miz cash in.
I would pay like $200 to watch you like sit down and like plan out this match, like with like WWE agents and the superstars. Like, all right, then you're gonna do this, and just like sit there, like watch like how your mind would like travel.
I was talking it out to myself, very animated. We're watching the Knicks yesterday. And I was like, yes, this is so good. I was like, Vince should literally hire me as I'm typing this out. I'm like, I am the greatest writer in the history of WWE, and I'm not even there yet. Like, I was like, they should pay me. That's literally what I was thinking. We also both have Mandy Rose holding a belt at the end of WrestleMania, or holding the Women's Tag Team Championship, but we have her with a different partner. You obviously have her with her current partner, and I have her with her ex-best friend in a ridiculous scenario.
I'll change. I'll take the Riot Squad.
Oh, okay. Was that just so you could
we don't need to both have the same one. I'll take the Riot Squad.
That's really funny. But yeah, that women's battle royal is actually gonna be interesting to me because you say Lana's a lot, but that's one of the ones where when I said Raquel Gonzalez, I was like, this would be a perfect spot for her. Like this would be a perfect spot. This is what they like to do with the Baron Corbins and the.
But it doesn't work.
Like this is.
It doesn't work though. It's like it's what they like to do, but it doesn't work.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean like they never wind up pushing the person after?
The Big Show, Cesaro, Baron Corbin, like these don't lead to things.
Well, the Big Show is different. The Big Show won, so they could say that the Big Show won it. Like that was it's like when they put the future superstar, like the Big Show won it. Naomi won last year for the women. We actually haven't seen her since, so it actually hurt her career. Or you can make the argument, not that it actually.
If you remember, they said that the winner gets a guaranteed title shot sometime in the future, which Naomi never got. So,
well, maybe that'll be her reason for returning. She'll ask for that guarantee. She's like, I was guaranteed a title shot, and I just never got it.
So was that last year? That was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Who won it last year?
I think Naomi won it 2 years because I think it was with the fans there when Naomi won it. Did they have it last year?
I don't actually. Who won the men's last year?
Did they not do the Battle Royals last year?
Did Gronkowski win one? That was 2 years.
He won the 24/7.
The Gronk thing with Mojo Rawley. Mojo Rawley won it with Gronk's help.
What number was it? 36?
Jinder, who was just WWE champion. 36, yeah. You got a little live look in at our research process here, and Mark is on his phone Googling while I'm distracting all of you.
Cesaro beat Gulak in a Mania match. No Battle Royals, it doesn't look like. Oh, remember it was 2 nights last year?
You know what? Yeah, they might not have done it because of COVID. So I guess maybe they stopped it. Maybe they decided they were both useless. And, I generally like them. I thought it was like a fun little way. And again, I think the more people you can get involved in the card, the better. You know what I mean? Like as many people you can get involved in WrestleMania, especially especially the talent that is in the company today. You know what I mean? Like you always hear them talk about WrestleMania. Like that's the spot where they all work for, right? Like you work to get a position on that card. So as many people as you can get on that card, even if it's just in the Battle Royal, like I think that's a lot better than having them sit and watch from the sideline. Now, last year with COVID, especially right in April, in the beginning of April, when COVID was like at its most rampant and no one knew what was going on, you can't have a 30-man Battle Royal. This year, now that they know more, they've been testing, they've been trying to be as safe as possible. And it actually looks like they've been succeeding because we haven't heard about a COVID thing in the WWE since the midsummer. Hopefully they get those matches back on. Again, not because they're super entertaining, but I personally enjoy them, but not because they're entertaining to most people. I just like to see people get their opportunity at WrestleMania.
Did you know that Liv Morgan had a singles match last year at WrestleMania?
Yeah, she beat Ruby Riot.
Final answer?
No. Let me try again. She beat she lost to she beat Natalia. She beat Natalia. I'm gonna go with she
Beat
beat
Natalia
Natalia.
in a 5-minute thriller.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's go.
What if I told you Aleister Black won a match last year at WrestleMania, a singles match?
Yeah, I believe it.
Who'd he fight?
He beat Murphy.
Bobby Lashley with Lana. A 7-minute
He
thriller.
won that match.
Aleister Black.
Is every match a thrill?
Ooh. Edge vs. Randy was 37 minutes. That was bad.
I remember because we were still in quarantine, so we were actually watching via we were watching on our own, trying to sync it up perfectly with us and our other friends, and we were talking through our PlayStation chat. And so I'm listening to Mark, and he leaves to go and see something for about 20 minutes, and he comes back and he's like, "This is still going on." I'm like, "Yes, Mark, this is still going."
It was so long.
It was very long.
You need to go back to 2 nights this year?
I want there to be fans. I mean, like, I obviously want everyone to be safe first and foremost. Like, that's the most important thing. But if they could do it in front of fans, like, even if it's just 10,000 fans in like a football stadium, like, I hope that they do it, and I hope they do it in one night. But if they can't, then yeah, I think they do. If there's no fans allowed, I do think they do 2 nights. I think they like that a lot, and it gives both championships a chance to headline, even though the only one that matters is the second night.
Edge and Randy went 37 minutes. The next longest was 20 minutes with Charlotte and Rhea. 37 minutes. That is
I forgot
so.
that happened.
Yeah, Charlotte beat her, and everyone was like, "Oh, she didn't go and elevate NXT," and she didn't elevate NXT, and then Rhea like lost a lot of her star power. Yeah. Good booking.
Well, the Io Shirai wound up winning that feud. She won the Charlotte Flair Rhea Ripley feud.
Yeah, and Rhea took the pin. Charlotte never got pinned.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah, I remember Rhea and Shayna Baszler fought Becky, right?
Yep. Becky won while
pregnant. Those were matches that we didn't really go over. Do you think that any NXT championships will be defended at WrestleMania, like the way the women's championship was, or do you think that was just like such a specific circumstance?
No, I don't think so. I think it was a one-time thing where they didn't want to put Charlotte back in the match with those two. It was an interesting idea. She should have just gave Rhea the win. She didn't. It's whatever.
Do you think does she have creative control over her character yet? Like we've heard stories about John being like, "Nah, I'm gonna win this match. Sorry." But do you think Charlotte could do that, or do you think she just does what she's told?
I think she does whatever.
You think so?
Yeah.
We know she's approaching. Like, we know she's approaching that point. Like, you think she's there already?
Yeah. They said last year she won the Rumble because like Vince owed her a favor. It's like, what favor could Vince possibly owe her? Like, what more does she like? I don't know. Because remember,
it's a really good point.
All the reports were Shayna was supposed to win the Rumble last year, and then Charlotte just randomly won, and it was like, oh, and then like all the reports came out. It was like, yeah, like Charlotte was doing some work on Raw, like Italian stuff that she didn't want to do, but like Vince owed her a favor or something, so she just won the Rumble. That's quite the favor. I don't know. It's stupid.
I'm actually really excited for the Women's Rumble this year because I don't think they'll do Charlotte twice in a row.
I wouldn't rule it out.
But like every time I don't think that they're gonna have her win, she wins anyway. So maybe I should be nervous.
I mean, Charlotte's with not counting like a Ronda or like a return. Like Charlotte's got to be top 3.
Like, and betting odds, yeah. We actually should do a show just like with the funkiest betting odds for the Rumble, because I know like when I look at the books at the end, like there are literally returns that are more like AJ Styles will be lower than like a return. I guarantee. Yeah. Like Brock Lesnar will have higher odds to win the Rumble than like most field.
When we do the Mania predictions, we'll also do like prop bets and we'll do like the betting odds.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is we do our best work during the Royal Rumble.
During the Royal Rumble season, yeah.
And up to
Especially going
WrestleMania.
into
We are the road. Yeah, like we are. We do our best work leading up to the Royal Rumble. Then we are in our stride till WrestleMania from the Royal Rumble. And I love Elimination Chamber. Okay, one of the first pay-per-view matches I ever watched was Elimination Chamber, where Shawn Michaels actually won the Elimination Chamber. I think it was the first one, and I thought it was the coolest match ever. And they have subsequently ruined that match. And I just really, I always like look at it. I really want it to be good, and then they announce like it's gonna be for the tag team champions, and I'm like, no, don't do that. I don't want to see 45 men match at WrestleMania. But really, I just want to see the classic 6 men beef it out. But I actually do think the WWE Championship is going to be defended this year inside Elimination Chamber, the actual Elimination Chamber, because it just looks like there are so many people in that picture between Miz and Morrison and Keith Lee and Sheamus and AJ Styles, and Braun Strowman's got to come back. Like I think that's going to be one of the matches that will be at Elimination Chamber. And there's some big names, so it could be good, but I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here. So you got anything else? Just fantasy booking WrestleMania card. Any other thoughts?
All good here. We'll come back next week. We'll talk about how bad Raw is and talk about what's next with SmackDown.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys all for watching. Have a happy New Year. New Year's is tomorrow night. Yes, tomorrow. Today's the 30th. So yeah, everyone have a happy New Year, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.